The world keeps getting crazier. The world keeps getting weirder and weirder, with doctors pushing a 14-year-old to be trans, to the governor of Burbank, California, getting spanked by a drag queen. We have a mental problem here in the United States, and it's only getting worse. All of that and more on today's episode.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Starting off with the doctors trying to trans our kids. Yes, a 14-year-old is a kid. Anyone that is too young to drink is a kid, and that involves me. I'm a kid. I'm 19 years old. People like to claim that just because someone has the word teen after their age, they can start getting worthless crap shoved down their throats, but the people that say this could not be more wrong. No one needs their ideologies because they lead to self-mutilation and self-harm. If we look into the data on this, we can see that according to the National Library of Medicine, over the last 25 years, we saw an almost 10-fold increase in the number of people trying to get on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, which is permanent and cannot be undone, contrary to popular belief. Also, if we keep looking at the data seen by the NLM, the National Library of Medicine, we can see that the average age to start HRT is getting younger and younger because it starts with males wanting to change. This is around 25 years old in 2018 and was 35 in females. But looking at the most up-to-date data we can find, according to UCLA, Williams Institute, we can see that 300,000 youth are now identifying as transgender. And looking further, we can see that 2.75% of young adults and kids between the ages of 13 and 24 say that they are transgender. That's more than all of the other ages of people, 25 and up. That proves that kids are being indoctrinated at a young age and that they don't know any better, so they just change their gender like they change their clothes. And it's sad because you cannot turn back the clock. If you go through puberty, you cannot go through puberty when you're 30. No, you have a certain time to go through puberty, and after that time, you're not going to go through puberty again. You are stuck with the same decision you made when you were young, and that's exactly why we don't tell people, oh, you can get a tattoo if you are under the age of 18 because you can make this choice now, yes. But you don't know if you're going to like this choice when you're older, like 40s, 50s. That's exactly the reasoning we use between getting a tattoo and not getting a tattoo. So why won't we use it on life-altering medicines and life-altering surgeries that cut off your healthy breasts off of females or cutting the genitalia off of young males? It just does not make any sense to me. But with that being said, we're going to be digging into the headlines of the week. Before we get into the headlines of the week, I just want to start off by saying that everybody out there, listen up. You do not need to fit in a box in society. You can be a feminine guy and not be a lady. You can be a masculine lady and not be a guy. It does not mean that the norm should be a feminine guy or a masculine girl. It just means that a masculine guy or a feminine girl would be the norm, but it's okay not to be 100% masculine or 100% feminine all of the time. This doesn't mean that you should cut off your dick. Just saying. And yes, I had to beep a couple of words out because YouTube doesn't like the truth. I know, I don't like it either, but it is what it is. But with that being said, let's dig into some of the headlines we have for the headlines of the week. Okay, so I'm going to try to rapid fire these headlines and these articles because of the fact that we are limited on time. But today is actually the last day that we're actually going to be limited on time because everything that is going on and that I have to do is all done. So now we can do the full episodes that I usually have. You know, the hour or the hour and 10 episodes in length that I usually do. So moving just with this article, or not just with this article, we do have other ones, but moving with this article, transgender health doctors prescribe puberty blockers to minors as young as 8 years old, and irreversible cross-gender hormones to minors as young as 14 years old. So this just tells you right here, these are the key points. Nara Scott, licensed social worker, Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin, Texas, quote, "We do have patients who are starting transition as young as 8-9 years old. Dr. John Sewer, pediatrics and adolescent medicine, Mount Senile Adolescent Health Center in New York, New York, I followed the WPATH guidelines, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health Guidelines, and really what they should say is the way to go is at this age 10, would be something like a puberty blocker. And that really stops puberty pretty quickly, so that no further development of the secondary sexual characteristics happen. So things like there's no real chest development, there's no menstruation, things like that. Dr. Stewart, when you then get to age 14 is when I'll consider some, cross-gender hormones. 14 years old is a reasonable age. Most kids are mature enough to take a relatively informed decision. That's not true at all. Dr. Stewart, again, cross-gender hormones, testosterone in this case, do have some permanent effects. So I need the patient to be mature enough to make a relatively informed decision. I get it that there are some 14-year-olds that are not, mature, but generally speaking, they're usually pretty good. That does not make any sense. Prisha Mosley, detransition whistleblower, they doctors say that it would be a transition or suicide, like I would be given no choice. I was told you will kill yourself if you do not go through with these treatments. So they're putting the idea of suicide in young children's head, and then when they commit suicide, they use them as a statistic to push their radical beliefs. That's what I'm hearing from the article. It's just disgusting and disturbing why they are using this as an excuse to push other kids to be transgenders. This is the truth. Okay, if you do want to read the rest of the article, because sadly we do not have time to read the whole entire article, but if you do want to read the whole entire article, it's going to be available on the Project Veritas website. It's one of the breaking stories right now. I did read the headline. It was published on April 19, 2023, but I just saw it now. This is the transgender health doctors prescribe puberty blockers to minors as young as 8 years old and irreversible cross-gender hormones to minors as young as 14 years old. That is the headline. If you want to read it. So moving on to the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have Russell Brand vehemently denies sexual assault allegations in viral video statement. So the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. So Russell Brand, if you do not know, obviously, pretty much if you're watching me, you know who Russell Brand is. He's on YouTube. He actually went to the right a little bit. So I really do appreciate listening to him because the way that he talks is just entertaining. He's just funny. He's just a comedian and an actor, and he just has it. Like some people just have the comedian aspect of them. They just know how to act. They know how to be just a real person. And I feel like Russell Brand has always been that person. No matter if he thinks that stuff on the left or thinks the stuff on the right. I knew about him just recently, though, within the last year, and I can say that I really did appreciate his YouTube channel, his whole entire persona that he created around himself. Even when Ben Shapiro interviewed him on the Daily Wire Plus platform, I did enjoy their interview together. It was called The Search, and it was really, really interesting. So everything that you have to know about Russell Brand, I don't particularly know, but I do know enough about him to say that, no, I think that he's a genuine guy. And I do believe him when he says, listen, this did not happen. Okay, I can believe some people, but I cannot believe other people. Russell Brand, I believe that they're just trying to do this to cancel him and to get everybody on the Me Too movement because they're trying to cancel conservatives. So especially when it comes to Russell Brand, I don't think that he would do something like this, but let's move on to the article here. Actor and podcast host Russell Brand on Saturday posted a video online denying allegations of sexual assault, which were reported hours later by the Sunday Times, and accusing the outlet of engaging in a coordinated attack to defame him. The Sunday Times report said 4 women, whose names have not been disclosed, have accused Brand of sexual misconduct from 2006 to 2013, which was the height of Brand's mainstream fame. One woman claims Brand raped her, while another alleged victim, who is now 31 years old, says Brand sexually assaulted her when she was 16 years old, the age of consent in the United Kingdom. Amidst the litany of astonishing, rather Baroque attacks and some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute, Brand said in the video platform Rumble. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was all over the newspapers all of the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. He continued, now during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. Notably, the allegations against Brand came from a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 dispatches. There are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives of 2 mainstream media outlets are trying to construct apparently in what seems to be a coordinated attack. Brand countered, quote, "I feel like I'm being attacked, and obviously they are working very closely together." Brand, at the time of this video, said that he heard from one of the media outlets in one TV company. So yeah, I can see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to take him down. I do not believe him. I mean, I believe him, but I do not believe them for one moment because of the fact that they tried to do this to countless other conservatives just to say that, nope, I'm going to ruin your career and there's nothing that you can do about it. Okay, moving on to the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have an intentional act. Video shows retired cop getting knocked off bike in deadly stolen car ramming. So, video appears to show a person who was driving a stolen car bash into a retired police officer chief who was on a bicycle ride in Las Vegas last month. Police said the victim, identified as 64-year-old Andreas Probst, died at the hospital after investigators believe was an intentional act in the morning of August 14, shown in the footage posted to social media. This is the video here. It's just crazy.
All right, go. Keep it moving.
So first they crash into this car right here, this white car. They don't even pull over. They don't even say, oh, here's my insurance, whatever. No, they don't. They just say, stop talking shit. Like, what? And then they see a biker and they target him.
Ready? Yeah. Hit his ass.
Yeah, no kidding. You hit him with a car. Like, I just can't. People are just so stupid. They don't think that what they're going to do has any actions. I mean, any repercussions for their actions. They don't think anything's going to result in what they're doing. It's stupid. It's just ridiculous. Obviously, if you hit somebody with a car, they may die. Like, oh my God, this is rocket science. No, this is not GTA. This is not like, oh, collect their money if you kill them. No, he has nothing. You just took his life away because you wanted to be stupid. They should get life in prison, or they should get the death penalty because they're just reckless endangerment. They stole a car. They broke like 5 different laws. No, death penalty. Okay? You killed someone too. On top of all of that, you have no remorse for your actions whatsoever, and you laughed at him when he got hit. That's despicable and it's disgusting. We do not tolerate this in polite society, so nope, you will get the death penalty. So, moving on to the next article, we actually have another Daily Wire article. We have, is Stephen Avery directing supporters to tank Candace Owens' convicting a murderer review score? Now, yes, he is. And I can see what he's doing here because he does not like the documentary Convicting a Murderer because of the fact that that he thinks that he is himself innocent. He's not innocent, okay? You did the deed, that's it, okay? So, let's move into the article here. It seems Stephen Avery himself from behind bars may be directing supporters to tank Rotten Tomatoes audience score of Daily Wire host Candace Owens' docu-series Convicting a Murderer. Avery and his nephew Brandon Dassey were convicted of murdering photographer Teresa Halbach in 2007. The pair are featured in Netflix's limited series Making a Murderer, gathering attention from celebrities and others online contranding Avery as innocent. Owens' tell the other story, the other side of the Avery case, specifically sharing information omitted or arguably manipulated with Making a Murderer. Important. Stephen Avery is asking all of his supporters to flood Rotten Tomatoes and give Convicting a Murderer a bad review, reads a post on the Facebook group called Stephen Avery is Innocent. This garbage and vitriol is not true. We need our community to step up and let Candace Owens know that Stephen Avery is innocent. Okay, this is the post right here from Stephen Avery himself. Before the post, Cam was boasting an average score of in the 90s, and now is seeing a drop in that score down to a 73% score on Saturday afternoon. Notably, It was just hours after this Facebook post was issued that convicting a murderer was flooded with bad reviews. A Nothing Burger tried to copy Making a Murderer, but a complete farce. This movie is very base and didn't prove that Steve Avery is guilty. Cherry picks facts, leaves out a lot. It gives no stars if that was an option. This is a character assassination of Steve Avery, full gossip with zero facts. It does not make any sense. I mean, these reviews, if you saw, like, I've been watching every single episode as it comes out, and these, it is boring. It's just not true. Blah 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 blah. Like, it does not make any sense at all. So if you watch the docuseries, all of the evidence that she proves is by the phone calls, either with the police department or it's actual interviews with the people that were involved in this situation, or it's the actual facts of the case that Netflix's docuseries, Making a Murderer, is actually leaving out. And that's the sad fact of the case. She's not lying, she's just saying the facts. And if you don't like the facts, then the facts don't care about your feelings. That's why I went on Rotten Tomatoes and reviewed it 5 stars. I mean, it can be the opposite. We should flood it with 5-star reviews just because the left is flooding it with 1-star reviews, even though you didn't even watch it. If they want to play by these games, we're going to play by these games, and they're not going to like it because we're going to flood their movies without even watching their movies with 1-star reviews. Like, do you want me to review, whatever it's called, baddies or whatever, cuties with 1-star reviews, even though I didn't even see the movie on Netflix, just because I don't like the way that it looks? Yeah, I want to do that, but I'm not gonna because I have a certain, standard. I have standards here. If I'm gonna watch a movie, I'm gonna review the movie. If I'm not gonna watch the movie, I'm not gonna review the movie. That's the standards I'm gonna be held to. So the left is gonna be held to the same exact standards, but I mean, you would presume, but they're not. Okay, that's just the sad fact of the case. But with that being said, we're going to end off this episode here. I know this is the last episode that we're going to have a shorter episode. Usually we have a longer episode, like 50 to 60 minutes, but today there is something happening in the studio, so we need to cut the episode off short. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for enjoying. If you did like this episode, please like and subscribe down below because I do post new episodes of the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you do want more content from me, I just posted my Joe Biden 2024, presidential election endorsement, I should say. If you do want to check that out, it's going to be linked down below, or it's going to be yesterday's video because I did post on Sunday. Thank you all for watching, and I hope they have a great rest of your day.